Welcome to the Fantastic Fogey. I'm the Fantastic Fogey. Tonight, commentary. Trump, the people's champ. The greatest fighters in history haven't always been fighters, technically. From Ronda Rousey to George S. Patton, the definition of what fighter means varies. Fighters don't always bleed or die, but a cost exists for all combatants, physical or otherwise. Donald Trump ignores the cost and fights every day on behalf of the American people. President Donald Trump is the epitome of a great fighter. He is a relentless warrior with enemies on every side. Surrounded and outnumbered, Trump refuses to concede. Relentlessly, he punches, and the figurative canvas upon which he fights is littered with opponents. In 2016, this brawler from the streets of New York jumped from the nation's boardrooms and television screens into the most brutal combat sport of all, politics. He entered the 2016 presidential race as an immense underdog, and when the final bell rang on November 8th, 2016, he alone stood. Laying at his feet were a worthy list of political contenders, including Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, John Kasich, and of course, Hillary Clinton. Trump was and is the undisputed champ. This sometimes crude and pugnacious real king of queens knew his reign as champion would not be easy and watched as much of the media, all Democrats, all liberals, and even some in his own party lace up the gloves to take him on. In every instance, and with every opponent, from Michael Avenatti to Robert Mueller, Trump stood his ground and came out swinging. Without exception, he vanquished every would-be chump with a combination of steely resolve, surprising savagery, and a tactical prowess the likes of which we have not enjoyed since the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, graced the squared circle. Unlike those who fight for fame and fortune, Trump fights to save a country. He believes in the American ideal and in the promise that is America. He does not take a salary for the beating and attacks he suffers from people who would never risk themselves on behalf of their country. Standing unbowed and unbroken, he does not flinch before an onslaught of opponents who believe this country is fundamentally flawed and would see it diminished or destroyed. Trump adopted the attitude of one of the great political ethicists and fighters of the 20th century who said, "Where there is only a choice between cowardice and violence, I would advise violence." Mahatma Gandhi knew the cost of violence, and so does Trump. Trump chooses violence because he knows cowardice leads to an end for this country with which he cannot abide. Now entering the ring is the great coward of our time, Joe Biden, the scrawny scrapper from Scranton. Because of his fragile health, Biden won't go toe-to-toe with Trump. His mind is already so addled that any further trauma will leave him unable to find his way out of his own basement. Biden will taunt Trump and hurl insults, but strictly from a safe distance. He has no stomach or stamina for this fight. Biden hopes to dance and feint his way through this election's late rounds in hopes the judges, the mainstream media, Hollywood elites, and liberal bullies such as Antifa will conspire to give him a victory on points. Biden's Build Back Better is an alliterative bromide that means nothing. Trump's accomplishments and fighting spirit have already made America great and will keep America great. From improved foreign trade deals to a sizzling economic recovery, Trump keeps on winning. Trump is the champion America needs, and the lone gladiator who will defend her no matter the odds. The Fantastic Fogey says, vote Trump 2020 and keep America great. I'm the Fantastic Fogey. God bless and good night.